Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Yoga Church Digital. We're so grateful that you can join us this morning. I'm here with the amazing Karen Hughes, who's going to be leading us lakeside today through our yoga practice. And as always, just wanted to welcome everybody that's live with us. And if you're able, for those of you that are joining live, before we start the practice, if you just want to put your name, your location, how you're doing today, we would love to hear that. And for those of you that will join later and will watch the um, the practice throughout the week at different times, we want to welcome you too as well. And whether you're coming in by YouTube or Facebook Live or whatever stream you're joining us, peace to you, shalom, and welcome. So I'm going to start with just a quick little devotional based in the Gospel of Luke in the 10th chapter today. And I understand that everybody who joins with us is not Christian, and that's fine. I deeply respect all religious traditions, and I know Karen is a follower of Jesus as well, and so we express our spirituality through Jesus. But we just welcome all people. I know it's been a hard week, especially for Floridians. It's a very scary, disorienting time, and so it's great. I'm grateful to be able to share this time with you to rest and to reflect. Good morning, Nicole from Georgia. Hi, Wendy. Yes, and thank you for your ministry to Chance of Hope Outreach. Thank you. So I'm going to the Gospel of Luke in the 10th chapter, and I'll just quickly read a couple verses here. Jesus has an encounter with an expert in the law. And this is somebody who knew the scriptures inside and out. They were a religious scholar, a lawyer. They had the 613 Levitical restrictions memorized and could interpret those. And he asked Jesus this question. He says, "What do I do to inherit eternal life? How do I live the life that's truly life? How do I be a person who's living a kingdom life, if you will, now?" And Jesus answers with a question. I love how Jesus does this. He usually answers people's questions with better questions. And he says, "What is written in the law? How do you read it? You know the law, you know the scriptures. How are you reading? How do you have eternal life?" And the religious professional answers, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength." And that really is not an original or innovative answer at all. That is the Shema. So the Hebrew Shema was, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one God. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength." So that was with all your miod, all your muchness, all your lav, all your emotional life, all your mental life, all your nefesh, or your soul, or so with all your physicality, with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your intellect, with every dimension of your being. So the Bible believes in that we are integrated beings. Mind, body, soul, strength are all connected in a living person made in the image of God, male and female. So we like to break up, the mind, the body, and the soul. But for the Judeo-Christian tradition, that's all one thing. And we were created to love God with our body, with our mind, with our soul. So, and then he says, "And love your neighbor as yourself." So connecting Deuteronomy and Leviticus, which is another not very revolutionary answer. It's just the heart of the Old Testament belief. And so Jesus says, "You've answered correctly. Do this and you will live." I want to just quickly note one thing about loving your neighbor as yourself. And there's a key thing there in Jesus' teaching, if you think about it, that to love our neighbor as we love ourselves means we have to first have a healthy self-love. Now, I know we live in a narcissistic culture. It's all about me and consumerism and all of that. So we're not talking about that kind of self-love, but a love that flows from knowing who we are and whose we are, created in the image of God, a healthy right-sizedness, not thinking too much of ourselves and not thinking too lowly of ourselves, but knowing that we are human beings made in the image of God, stewards of God's creation. And from that identity, not what the world tells us or what our achievements tell us or how much money we have in the bank tells us, but from our identity of who we are in God flows or should flow this healthy self-love. And we really can't love our neighbor until we love ourselves. And when I see, just to point to one thing that's kind of a big topic right now, is wearing masks. A simple little thing, to a way to love your neighbor. We've turned into this political, if you wear a mask, you're one political party or whatever. No, it's just a simple act to love your neighbor. Like, I care about you enough that if I am a carrier of the virus, I'm not going to breathe that on you, right? Loving your neighbor. And I wonder sometimes if we have the inability to love our neighbor, sometimes that comes back to our own self-worth, our own identity issues, and our own shame or guilt or whatever that is that's blocking us from having a healthy self-image and self-esteem that we can then give that love to others. So in the practice this morning, I'm hoping as Karen leads us in this time of worship and prayer and pause, that we can breathe in deeply of the risenness of Christ, that we can. I like to use this time, Karen always talks about the intention of the practice, and I like to use this time to connect with God and to do examination of myself. It's when I'm in that pause and in that breathing that for me, it's in the stillness and kind of my mind stopping and just living in the rhythm of the practice that sometimes I hear from God. And I can evaluate my own soul and I can see, where am I at spiritually? And that I can kind of receive God's best for me and my own self-worth and how goes it with my soul. So then that can affect how I'm going to interact with others. Yes, thank you, Wendy and Danita. Good morning from Georgia. And Jeanne, welcome. I'm so glad that you're feeling positive. And yes, Nicole, welcome. Good morning. So just that little thought as we go into the practice, this is an opportunity to love God literally with every part of us. So our body is going to be yielded up to God in this time. Our mind is going to be yielded up. Our soul, our emotional life. This is a living sacrifice unto you, God, as we go through this practice. Then that'll shape our inner world and how then we can love our neighbor. So Karen, I'm so grateful for you and for leading us today. Take it away.
All right, great. I hope you can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Let us start with the heart of yoga, which is breath. So let's close our eyes and begin to breathe. Just be aware of your breath. What's happening as you inhale and what's happening as you exhale. And as you breathe, clear your mind of all the clutter and the anxiousness, the negativity, and anything that's just taking up negative space in your brain. Let's create some space in our head to love yourself and to read your mind, your body, and your spirit. And we can start with a simple exercise of breathing. And then we can take it into a different breath pattern to release any stress we may still be holding by inhaling as deep as you can in through the nose, a long, deep inhalation all the way down, deep into your tummy. And then exhale all the old air out of your mouth, exhaling deep and long, longer than your inhale. Inhale, and maybe on your exhale, make a shh sound. Inhale deep. And exhale long. One more purifying breath, inhaling as deep as you can. And exhaling as long as you can. And return to normal in and out through the nose. Let us use our breath to guide our movement today. Let's open our eyes. Welcome to yoga. Take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up. And exhale, hands over, heart center. Namaste. Inhale to float the hands up. And exhale, reach out long. So it's kind of like a big stretch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We'll do just a couple more of these. Inhale. Exhale. And reach your hands and as long as you can, float your fingertips down to your mat. As we go into some side stretches, flip your left palm up, come up and over. And only move as big as it feels good for your body, alternating side to side. So in yoga, since everyone is built differently, we all move differently. So it's important that you use your and be kind to your body and listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good for your body. This is a feel good yoga. Sometimes I do some challenging poses, and that's okay. You just do what you can. Inhale and exhale. Let's rest our hands by our sides with relaxed arms as we go shoulders shrug back. Inhale up and exhale the shoulders down. Inhale to shrug up and exhale to shrug down. Inhale up and this time circle your shoulders around to the back. Inhale and exhale. Continue with big shoulder rolls to the back. Inhale and exhale. Let's leave our shoulders down away from our ears. Sit as tall as you can. Your knees bent. So if you don't like folded legs, you can just take your feet out in front. As long as you have a little bend in your knees, that's to protect your spine. We're going to start with some neck stretch. So sit as tall as you can and then drop your chin to your chest with a heavy head, stretching the back of the neck. Remember to breathe. And from here, with your chin on your chest, we're going to let that spine go. Let it round. Let your rib cage cave in and your shoulders round forward. Let your head get heavier and heavier. From here, we'll go into some half neck circles. Inhale to circle your chin up to your left shoulder. And when you get there, sit as tall as you can. Inhale to drop the chin back to the chest, rounding the spine. And on the exhale, bringing your chin over to your right shoulder and sitting as tall as you can. So slow motion, half neck circles, rounding and lifting the spine. Warming up the inner core center of your body. Inhale, stay nice and tall. Bring your gaze back to the center. We're going to start with some really small upper body circles just to warm up that spine, get a little mobility in your spine, and maybe gradually increase the size of your upper body circles as it feels good for your body, for your back, for your spine. And let's switch the direction of our circles. Remember to start small and gradually increase that range of motion. Just trying to get a little mobility in the spine, warming up the spine before we go into some more poses that require spine mobility. Inhale and exhale. Come back to the center, seated cat and cow. So you'll hold on to your knees. Be sure your knees are bent. You're going to hinge forward with your upper body. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. Exhale to fill the lungs up. And exhale, round back to around the spine. So move slowly through the spine like your spine is a wave. Inhale to gaze up. Seated cow. And exhale back into seated cat. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale. And come back to tall spine. Let's move into our staff pose. So straighten your legs out. Point your toes up to the sky or the ceiling. I like to use my fingers under my armpits to sit as tall as I can. Pull your back to your spine. And you are in staff pose, so you can stay here. I do often offer some progressions or modifications. So here's a progression. If you want a little bit more, reach your arms out long as you pull your belly into your spine. And if you still want more, up to the sky and hinge 2 or 3 inches forward and just pause there for 2 or 3 breaths. So if you're over 60, it's contraindicated to forward fold. So keep that in mind if you're over 60 through the rest of our practice today. But if your body allows you to forward fold and you don't have any lower back issues, then begin to forward fold. Bring in your nose, knees, bending your knees a little to a lot if you have to. And maybe with each breath, you just straighten out those legs. Let's stay in your forward fold for 3 breaths. On the next breath, we're going to slowly round our spine up, stacking 1 vertebra at a time, back into tall, tall spine, sitting as tall as you can. And pull your left knee in. We're going to go into some spinal rotation. We're going to use the knee to get as tall as you can. I like to wrap my opposite elbow to get even taller, and then rotate around to the same side as your bent knee, dropping your hand behind your hip, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and breathing. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back over to the center as we pick up that left ankle and put it on top of the right knee for a little hamstring stretch. You can stay here, or maybe you can join me. It's a little more of a challenge into a seated cow face. So you can go and pull that left heel towards. It moves differently. I want to stack your knees. Now, if you want more challenge, you can go on and bring your right heel back to your left. So both knees are stacked. And then we'll float our hands all the way up into prayer hands, only to drop them over our heart center. Nod your chin, rest your chin on your fingertips, and breathe 3 breaths. Next breath, up to the side, open them up, stretch out, lean back, and straighten your legs, but keep them exposed. So again, sit tall. You're in cross-leg staff pose, but if you want a little bit more, float your arms out in front of your shoulders. Reach with your arms. Cross your left arm under your right. Flip your hands and then grab them and slowly begin to bring your fingertips towards your toes. Maybe just a little, maybe a lot. Listen to your body and forward fold. On the next breath, slowly begin to round up to tall spine, stacking 1 vertebra at a time. Uncross the legs as you pull that right knee in. Spinal rotation on the right. You can just hold on and rotate, or you can take that opposite elbow or forearm and then go in and take that right hand behind your back. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and breathe. On the next breath, and lift your right ankle and put you just stay here. It's a great stretch for you. Actually, a little bit easier for men to just stay here because they are built differently, and for some women. So do listen to your body. But if you want to continue into cow face, go on and pull the right heel towards the left hip. Sit tall. Maybe you stay here. This is half cow face, or you can join me for full cow face. Bring in your other heel back or not. And float up into prayer hands, get to the sky. Only to drop your hands over heart center, resting and nodding your chin or your nose on your fingertips. And breathe 3 breaths here. So I encourage you, whenever we're holding our poses for more than one breath, to listen to your heart and to your mind and to your spirits. Maybe the intention you can meditate on through your practice today. Maybe it's a simple intention, something like eating better or forgiving someone that you need to forgive. Maybe it's showing grace. Whatever it is, use your intention to focus and center through your practice today. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, reach the hands long. We're just going to lean back with a long spine as you straighten your legs out, but keep them crossed. For crossed legs, staff pose on this side. So point your toes up. You're in staff pose with crossed legs. If you were, put your arms out in front of your shoulders. This time, crossing the right arm under your left, flipping your hands, grabbing them, and then reaching forward. It's as though your chest was going to lay on thighs. Tuck in if you can, forward fold. Bring your nose to your knees and breathe 3 breaths. Slowly round the line. Let me go seated cobra. Soles of the feet are together here or here. Maybe you wiggle to get close. Grab hold onto your ankles, sit tall. And then float your elbows over your inner knees to gently press them. Tuck your chin into your chest and let your nose fall towards your toes. Inhale on the exhale, slowly round your spine up to tall spine. As we bring our knees together, we're going to transition onto our hands and knees. So we're going to bring our wrists, our shoulders, and separate your knees so that your hands, knees, and feet are all in one straight alignment for a kneeling cat and cow. Tuck the chin, round the spine into a Halloween cat back. And then slowly drop your belly towards the earth as you soften your elbows. Lift your gaze. Lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale into cat and drop into child's pose, Balasana. And just rest your forehead onto your mat. Maybe make a pillow with one hand on top of the other. Breathe 3 breaths here in child's pose. On the next breath, come back to your hands and knees. I'm going to show you puppy pose. So it is a modification for downward dog. You can either do child's pose instead of downward dog, or you can do puppy, where you reach your hands out and drop your temples between your elbows or your biceps, and that is puppy pose. So you stay there, or you join me for downward dog, tucking your toes under, lifting your knees, lifting your sits bones as high as you can, gazing at your knees or your belly. So it's important that you protect your neck here. Pressing the earth away with the balls of your feet and the heels of your hands, we can begin prancing or pedaling. Drop your right heel down, bend your left knee. Drop your right heel down, bend your left knee. And maybe a little faster. Left, right. Remember to go at your own pace. Use your breath to guide your movement. Inhale, exhale. Shh. Shh. Let's press both heels down towards the earth as much as you can for a nice stretch through the back of the legs. Only to lift the heels up as high as you can to drop into a full plank, dropping your shoulders over your wrist. And if you need to drop your knees here, that's perfectly okay. Or maybe you prefer to keep your knees up. Ideally, you are in a straight plank position, so your body is straight like a board. Now, you don't want to sag. You'd rather pike up a little. Or maybe you drop back into child pose. It's your practice, so be sure to listen to your body. And from here, we're going to drop right down into cobra. So you're going to lower yourself down slowly. Chest, nose, everything comes down. Uncurl the toes. Squeeze the elbows into the body to protect the spine and the shoulders. Fingertips are in alignment with the shoulders. And if you have any lower back issues, press, so you would only lift an inch or two, or maybe you've done Cobra before, you know how far your body can lift up. Breaths in Cobra. Maybe close your eyes. Think of your intention. Maybe you don't have an intention. Maybe you just think about love of yourself. Maybe with each inhale, you inhale love into your heart and exhale any unlovable things that are in your mind or your heart. From here, we'll push back into child's pose. You can stay here or come right back to downward dog for our next vinyasa. Stretching sits bones up to the sky, pressing that right heel down, left, right, left. Both heels pressing down. Lifting both heels up and dropping your shoulders over your wrist into plank again, dropping to your knees if that feels better. You go to Cobra, you can stay in child's pose. You have so many options here. I'm going to go into Chaturanga, which is a progression. So maybe you join me, maybe not. You can squeeze your elbows in and hold up your rib cage, your whole body with your elbows. But only hold it as long as you can. When you can't hold it anymore, drop back down into your Cobra. Be sure that you're doing what your body likes. It should feel good. Inhale and exhale, come back into child's pose where you can stay, or you can tuck your toes under and come back to downward dog. And prance a little bit, pedal, right heel, left, right, left, both heels press down. Both heels lift up. Last vinyasa here into full plank or knees down. It's up to you. You can go back into Cobra. You can drop into child's pose, or join me for up dog. Uncurl the toes and slowly float the hips toward your mat without them touching. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and breathe 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale, drop back into your child's pose. And this time we're going to come back into downward dog, not for a vinyasa, but to either walk forward or hop forward into a standing forward fold. Tuck your chin, bend your knees as much as you need to so that your nose gets a little closer to your knees. Hang down like a rag doll. And you can stay here, or you can join me for crouch. And crouch pose, lift our heels and drop your buttocks toward your heels in a crouch position. Just relax shoulders. Let your chin sit on your chest. Crouch pose is a very good pose for restoration. And breathe. That's it. Wherever you are, we're going to come back into our stand forward fold. And we're very slowly going to come up to standing so we don't get dizzy. So soften your knees. Slide your hands up on top of your knees. Straighten your arms so you can gaze to the front of your mat and just pause for a couple of breaths. And then tuck your chin and round up all the way up to tall standing. Inhale, float the hands up over your head and then over heart center. You can turn and face the long side of your mat if you would like and spread your feet nice and wide as we go into some moonflowers and sunflowers and our warriors in this position. So your feet are parallel instead of turned out here. We'll start with a good morning pose. So float the hands up and out into a T. Standing, straddle split. You can stay here. This is a great stretch. Or hinge halfway down. So when you hinge halfway down, your nose doesn't go below your hips. Your legs are straight. You can straighten them. You can stay here or join me for revolving triangle. Dropping your left fingertips under your chest and floating your right hand up towards the sky along with your gaze. Inhale. Exhale. Come back into T arms. Good morning pose. As we drop our right fingertips or hand below our chest and float our left hand up along with our gaze and breathe. Coming back into your good morning pose and hinging all the way back up. Float the arms up into a Y. Let's do some moonflowers. You're going to take your elbows into your bend of the knees. Inhale and exhale, release, reach out and stretch. Inhale for a smaller range of motion and exhale. If you have knee issues, you're going to go smaller. If you want more, you can turn your toes out and come all the way down as far as it feels good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale that love and exhale and hate. In. We're going to move into some sunflowers. So maybe you just make a little sunflower, or maybe you make a really big one. Just remember it's sunflower. In and in. Keep your hands overhead, only to drop your hands over your heart center. We're going to move into our warriors. So you're going to turn your right foot out to the side and then rotate your body to the right. Float your hands up towards the sky. You're in warrior one. So ideally, let's look at our position. Your heel, your front heel to your back arch would be a straight line. Open your arms up, dropping your right arm forward and left arm to the back, wrist floating over your ankles, ideally. And then peaceful warrior, drop the back hand, flip the front and reach towards the sky. Or if you want more, keep reaching higher and maybe into a reverse warrior. And breathe. Oh, I feel a breeze. It's so nice on this beautiful day for God to bless us with a breeze. And come back into warrior two. And then side angle, you drop that front elbow to that front thigh or knee. Reach your back hand up to the ceiling. Gaze down to your big toe. If you want more, go on and slide your hand all the way down as far as it feels good. And then maybe you still want more, you gaze up to your top hand. Beware here to throw you off balance. And then slowly come back into warrior two. The long arms help you stabilize. Woo-hoo. And then triangle. Straighten out your front knee. Hinge your upper body forward, dropping your hand to your thigh or shin, reaching your back hand. Up, gazing down toward your big toe. And then we're going to top hand down. We're going to go into a deep runner's lunge right here. So on your deep runner's lunge, your front ankle is under your front knee. Your toes are under your eyes. Drop your back knee, uncurl your back toes. You can stay here, or you can float up into a kneeling crescent lunge. Maybe you stay here, maybe you add a twist. Bring both hands back, straddling that front foot, tuck your toes under, lift your back knee. Go on and float your arms up into a crescent lunge. Here, only to turn back forward into standing straddle split. Take your time. Now we're going to turn our, we just screwed over a little. We're going to turn the other foot out to the side, bending that knee. Go on and take your back hand forward. Reach both hands over your shoulders up to the sky. You're in warrior one. Check your alignment here. Open up into warrior two, dropping your left arm over your left knee. Peaceful warrior. Drop your back hand to your back leg. Flip your front palm up. The long arm reaches up and out. Or maybe you go into reverse warrior. And breathe. Use your breath to stabilize. Coming back into warrior two. As we move into side angle, you'll drop that front elbow to that front knee. Float your back hand up. Maybe you want, or you can float your hand down to your ankle, shin, to the floor, to a block. I love yoga because it's really your own practice and you get to work with your own. And this is great because you're probably in your own home, your own place. Coming back into warrior two to reset. That's right, long arms help you reset. And then triangle, going and straighten out that front knee. Hinge your upper body forward to drop your hand to your thigh or your shin. Reach your back hand up to the sky and gaze down to your big toe. And from here, we windmill that top hand down, bending your left knee and turning your back foot forward so you're in a deep runner's lunge. You can stay right here if you want. If you have wrist issues, you can make fist with your palms facing inward. Maybe you drop your back knee, uncurl your back toes. Maybe you sit nice hip flexors. Maybe you float your arms up into a kneeling crescent lunge. If you want to go into a twist, here's your opportunity. Drop down that right arm, reach your left arm up. Then we'll go on and float that hand down. Both hands straddle that front foot. Tuck your toes under in the back. Lift your knee. Very carefully float your arms up into lunge standing, or just take your time and come up to standing. Excellent. And then turn both feet forward. And here we are back. Straddle hands over your hearts. Take your heels in. Take your big toes in. Heels, toes, heels. So maybe you stay here and close your eyes and just meditate. You can join me for a deep runner squat or yoga squat. Just drop the buttocks all the way down. Open the knees with the elbows. Close your eyes and breathe. 3 more breaths here. Continue to breathe wherever you are with your eyes closed. And if you're in a deep runner squat, you're going to tuck your chin, drop your hands, swing your heels out so feet are parallel, and roll back up to standing. Inhale, bring your feet together. Exhale, hands over, heart center. Let's go into our pose. See how we're doing this. Remember, some weeks are better than others, but we always want to be progressing in the long run. So we start with just lifting up the heel, pulling the belly into the spine, feeling the connection of that standing leg foot to the earth. Pressing 4 corners of that foot. Maybe stay here, maybe put your toe up a little, turn your knee out to the side. Maybe you prefer being a tall tree. Remember, this is your tree. Maybe you have branches. Maybe you're just a big old bush today. And breathe. This is a good time to meditate. Think of your intention. And if you don't have one, then just listen to your heart. What is your spirit telling you today? Inhale, exhale, drop the hands. We'll go into mountain pose before we do tree on the other side. Put the palm forward. Relax the shoulders. So we're taking one of our senses away, our eyesight, so that our brain can remember this connection of the soles of the feet to the earth. In mountain pose, we're strong and sturdy like a mountain. Grow taller and bigger and stronger. Pull your belly into your spine and breathe. On the next breath, open your eyes. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. As we go into tree pose on the other side, lifting up your other heel. Feeling the connection of the other foot into the earth, pressing all 4 corners. Pull your belly into your spine, stand tall. Grow through the crown of your head. Maybe you stay here, maybe you float your foot inside of your standing leg or not. Some people pick their foot up and put it on the inside of their thigh. It's okay. Tree. Breathe. 5 breaths. Remember to let your arms go wherever you want your tree to be. Inhale, exhale, and release. Next, we're going to face forward. Float your fingertips up to the sky. We're going to forward fold down, back to hands and knees. So step back into downward dog. Let's do a little pedaling, or maybe you drop to your knees because you can't be in downward dog. That's okay. Pedal left, right, drop to your knees. We're going to spin our feet around to the front so we can go into our boat pose. And before we do, let's be sure we're in the right position. Take your hands behind your knees, tuck your chin, look at your belly, and roll past your tailbone. So we don't want any pressure on the tailbone. Continue to pull your belly into your spine. Then drop your shoulders, lift your gaze to your heart. Lift your legs into tabletop. Maybe you bring your hands down for balance. Maybe you bring them up for more. Maybe you straighten your legs into a full teaser boat. Inhale and exhale, hands come back behind the knees, drop the feet, come nice and tall as you can. Your pose, relax your shoulders, relax. Draw chin to your chest, roast your tailbone once again. Pulling your belly into your spine, gazing down to your belly, rounding your spine, kind of like that cat back. And then lifting your feet to slowly roll one vertebra at a time all the way down onto your back, resting your head on your mat, or maybe you get a pillow or something. Bear hug your knees and gently rock side to side. So we'll finish our practice on our line. I'm going to sit up just so that you can hear me better. So just rock your knees side to side, cradle your knees, relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your body. And then with your knees super glued, I want you to circle them and make a circle that you can. So if your fingertips are on top of your knees, your circle will be bigger. Let me turn this way so you can see if you're not sure what we're doing. So big circles. Switch the direction of your circles. And then circle your knees away from each other. Be sure your feet are relaxed and just dangling. Relax your legs. We're just warming up the hip joint, releasing synovial fluid to lubricate that joint. This can get all the way into your lower back in a good way. And switch the direction of your circles. On the next circle, we're going to pull our knees towards our armpits. Right knee to the right armpit, left to the left into happy baby. This is modified, and that's okay. You can stay here, but if you want more, lift your toes over your knees and grab hold of your big toes. And breathe. 3 breaths here. Maybe rock side to side. Release your head, bring your legs up the wall. So you're reaching your feet up towards the sky or the ceiling. Maybe you support legs with your hands behind your thighs, or just drop your hands down to your mat. The idea of legs up the wall is for your legs to just be weightless while your body is grounded. Let us breathe 5 breaths here. Let us drop the sole of our right foot down to the mat and drop your left ankle on top of your right knee for a supine. Here, up your right foot and grab your right thigh to pull your right knee towards your chest. Maybe you're really flexible and you can grab your shin. And then gently rock side to side, very gentle rocking. Uncross your legs, dropping your left foot down and bringing your right ankle on top of your left knee. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift up that left foot and grab through your legs to grab behind your left thigh or to grab your shin. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you rock a little bit, just get a little more stretch. Be gentle when you're rocking. On the next breath, go on and release. Bringing the soles of the feet to your mat, bones, hands down to your mat. Press lower back to the mat and your belly's forward. Peel the spine up, inhale, only to peel back down with an exhale. Inhale to peel up into bridge, and exhale to peel the spine back down. And one more inhale, and exhale. Let the soles of the feet come together as we go into supine butterfly. Knees move away from each other. Right knee goes to the right, left to the left. Arms go out to a T with your palms up. As we move into final savasana, final relaxing your eyes and just relax. And if your lower back hurts, try pressing your lower back into the mat and belly into your spine. So you have an option here. You can stay here. Maybe you even bring your arms overhead with your palms up. As long as your palms are up, maybe you straighten your legs, bringing your left heel to the left corner of your mat and the right heel to the right corner of your mat. Close your eyes here and just melt into your mat. This is the most important part of your practice today. How much can you just relax? Just be. Just be in the moment. Take this time for yourself. Relax your mind, your body, your thoughts, even your spirit. Relax your toes and the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet, your heels. Relax your legs, your calves, the backs of your knees and the backs of your thighs. Relaxing your buttocks all the way into your back spine, your middle spine, your upper back with your shoulder blades just melting into your mat. Relax your shoulders and your arms, the insides of your elbows, insides of your wrist, the palms of your hand, your fingers, and as you relax your thumbs, your shoulders should relax a little more. Relax your hip bones, your pelvis, your belly, your rib cage, your chest, all the way into your neck and your scalp, and most importantly, all the muscles in your face. Relax them. We hold a lot of tension in our face muscles. Can you just relax your face? Relax your forehead and your eyebrows and your eyelids, cheekbones, and your nose, even your chin and your ears and your earlobes. Relax your teeth. Unclench them, let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be. Just be in the moment and breathe. And if you want a little bit more, maybe change your pattern to those purifying breaths. Inhaling as deep as you can, so deep your tummy rises high. Pause, and then exhale through your mouth, all the air, a long exhale with a shh. So inhale deep. Pause and exhale. Shh. And one more big breath. Inhale. And exhale. And return to normal breath. In through your nose and out through your nose. And if you're comfortable rolling over onto your side, roll over to your side as we come back into awareness, but keep your arms closed. Maybe rolling onto your side in a fetal position, representing renewal, rebirth. And breathe. Let us open up our hearts and receive that love from others as we love ourselves. Let our hearts be filled with love so we can love our neighbors and maybe even love the unlovable. Love wins over all things. Let us learn more. May your hearts be filled with grace and gratitude today, joy and peace. It all starts in our own hearts. May your hearts be filled with make your way up to a seated position and continue to close your eyes. I like to end our practice with a time for request where you can jot them down, just stick them out in your own room, wherever you are. Our spirit is praying together to a more gathered in his name. So if you have any prayer, whatever spirituality you may have in your being, this is a time for prayer. I pray for each one of you that have joined our practice today and that will join throughout the week, that your week will be filled with love and that your heart will be filled with peace, and that you will be renewed and restored from your practice so that you can go out and show up spirit. Let us open our eyes, take our arms out long, our palms up. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center. Peace be with you, and namaste.
Well, thanks everyone, and thank you, Karen. That was amazing. We want to encourage you. We're here every week, Fridays, 9 a.m., just to try to be a blessing and give a safe place for us to rest and breathe and connect with the divine. So if you wanted to grab a group of friends at some point and you're in a safe place where you could do that, and maybe, gather in your living room and join us, that would be okay too. But we just encourage you to share this with any friends also that you may find it meaningful for them or restorative for them. So let me just close with the Lord's Prayer. This is the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Jean Ann.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.